About a year and a half ago, game developer Kunos teased their next title, a GT-based racing sim with more capable online features than its predecessor. About a year later when it was released, Assetto Corsa Competizione was criticized for not being what many fans thought it would be, and it got a tepid response from the sim racing community. It's now 6 months later, and over 100,000 units have been sold, and the game has been given a few significant updates. ACC has put those tepid responses in the past, and it's seeing an incredible level of positive reviews. In this video, I'm going to discuss why that may be happening. Let's go. So I started writing this video back in October when I had asked a few fellow SimTubers what title they were enjoying the most at the moment, and almost universally the response was Assetto Corsa Competizione. This lined up nicely with my own preference because I've been dedicating most of my gaming time to the same title. But of course this is very anecdotal, so I didn't have much to go on for making a video. But then in early November, Kunos took to their forums to thank everyone for their support, and they cited a 90% recommend rate for Steam reviewers over the past month. And at the time of this recording, that number has actually improved to 92% recommend rate over the past 28 days. This figure is exceptionally high for any game, but especially for a racing sim. Given how demanding our community can be and how fine technical details can make or break the whole experience for some users, 92% is huge. So the combination of the almost unbelievably high recommend rate on Steam and my own exposure to people really liking ACC led me down a path to find out why things have turned around so dramatically and why Competizione is now so appreciated. And I believe it comes down to one word: serendipity. And for those that aren't aware, serendipity is a word used to describe something working out favorably, kind of by luck or by chance. The discovery of penicillin is the most famous example of serendipity, and it's what Bob Ross may have called a happy accident. And for many of us, Assetto Corsa Competizione held the initial promise of being a rival to iRacing or a proper successor to the first Assetto Corsa. And I'll note right now that Kunos didn't promise either, but many people, including myself, fell into that mental trap. But Competizione is neither of those things. Competizione is a very narrowly focused racing simulator. In its current state, Kunos has given us a dedicated and well-presented GT3 sim that occupies a space very different from iRacing. As a racing sim, ACC ranks very high in several categories in my opinion. I'd put it in my top 3 sims in single-screen graphics, interior and exterior sounds, AI, suspension and tire physics, force feedback, and there's also the outstanding weather and time of day effects. And because of the focus being so narrow, Kunos has delivered very high-quality cars and tracks. Assetto Corsa Competizione has also had some very notable sim racers weigh in on its realism and value in the sim world. Some of you may remember Nicky Team's live stream on launch day where he was hardly able to complete a lap despite driving the actual car he races in real life. Contrast that with David Perel's recent videos with a significantly updated ACC where he praised the title for having executed very well on what he had tried to convey to them as a consultant during development. David also went on to call ACC the closest he's come in a racing sim to the experience of driving his GT3 car in real life. Kunos also deserves a lot of credit for their recent work and development of ACC. The release of version 1.1 with a new track and updated or newer versions of some of the 2018 cars was probably about the magnitude of change we see between years in many sports games like FIFA or F1. But Kunos released the update for free instead of charging full price for a new game like some developers might, and going back slightly further, the new tire and curb model that they gave us in version 1.0.7 changed the feel of ACC and made it more drivable for most of us. They also implemented triple screen support recently in version 1.1, which was something that many of us thought would never happen, and they've done well to keep us interested by teasing the upcoming international GT content. So with all these factors taken into consideration, we can see that Competizione has found its groove as an outstanding GT3 sim. A lot of people I speak to in the sim racing community have shifted their expectations of ACC and found great enjoyment in racing it. There are new leagues popping up every day, and ACC does stand on its own as an exceptional single-player racing title. It's not perfect. No game is, but for myself and many others, the merits of the title I've noted above outweigh the faults. I've concluded that I'll probably never run ACC smoothly in VR. If I want to race online, I'd probably have to join a league because North American West Coast online just isn't that great. And the career mode does lack the progression that we see in some other titles, but like I say, the merits outweigh these faults for me. So some of the shortcomings that I've noted will likely be addressed by Kunos in the future, but some will likely be with the title until the end. It seems like the general consensus now though is that Competizione is a blast to drive, even if it's not perfect. We're learning to look past the faults and enjoy the game in ways we didn't initially foresee. So that leads us back to Serendipity. Since the hype has faded, the perceptions of ACC ever replacing iRacing as the king of online sim racing have passed. And we can also see that it has little in common with the first Assetto Corsa. But who really cares? At its core, ACC is a great sim racing title. Perhaps it's the new king of GT3 racing. Or perhaps we could view it through the same lens through which we look at the F1 series. A laser-focused racing title, but in this case the developer has focused more on the driving experience than the career. Competizione has grown, and maybe our expectations have grown with it. ACC appears to have found its niche, it's just not where many people expected it to be. Serendipity, baby. Let me know in the comments what's drawing you into Assetto Corsa Competizione, or what's keeping you away. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.